Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.
So recently we kicked off one of our biggest projects ever. Of course, it's Fresh Jobs. It's an online portal providing young people access to information they need to gain and retain employment, which includes career guidance, advice from industry experts, and of course, free resources like resume templates.
And today we're excited to be joined by the CEO of Community Corporate, Carmen Garcia, and employment facilitator, Fatima Al-Hayri. Thank you for joining us so much this morning. How are you guys?
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
So, Carmen, can you please tell us a little bit about your story and how Community Corporate was born?
Yeah, thanks so much. And Fresh Jobs is such a great initiative. And really, my story started with my mum, who's a migrant from the Philippines. And like many migrants, she had overseas qualifications, but they weren't recognised here.
Yeah.
So essentially, I really saw the plight of dignity. Work and purpose is so important, even more so now through COVID. We just saw so many young people, refugees, migrants, and women returning to work that really struggle to get their foot in the door. So Community Corporate is a niche organisation. We aim to help employers look beyond the pages of a resume and actually see the potential in unleashing talent with the right support and coaching. That's really what Community Corporate's all about.
So it sounds like obviously a very inclusive culture that you have created there at Community Corporate.
Oh, 100%. My team's about 92% are refugees and migrants themselves.
Wow.
So we don't only have skills, but we have lived experience.
Yeah.
Majority of us are women, and we've got quite a few under 25 as well. So we like to practice what we preach, and you'll hear from one of my colleagues, Fafa, who's gone through the story herself. And what we're really trying to do is give people the confidence, if they've got a safety net with us, that we're going to help them, guide them through this process. Employers want people that have the right attitude, and we can help them pull it all together.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So Fatima, can you tell us a bit about your story about being a job seeker?
So I came to Australia 20 years ago with my family as a refugee myself. And even though I was a child, I had to watch my father and my brothers really struggle to find employment in Australia. Any employment, stable employment or just regular employment, it was really difficult. And yeah, they were quite exploited because employers thought, they're just refugees, they don't know any better. And we really didn't. We didn't know the Australian work life, the Australian life even, so we just didn't know any better. And they had to do what they had to do. And not even that, I was raised in Australia, I studied high school here, and I have a bachelor's degree. Even though I have that education, I still really struggle to find employment. Not only my family back in 20 years ago, but myself now. A few years ago when I was a job seeker myself, we would have really benefited from a company like Community Corporate to put us into these opportunities. It's absolutely amazing and so fulfilling now that I'm able to put these people who are now in the position that my family used to be into work.
So can you tell us how Community Corporate has helped you?
As a Muslim woman here in Australia and as a refugee, Community Corporate really helped me as they, Carmen saw that I had that potential in me, and she put me through, gave me the training that I needed, and just really saw the potential in me, just like we see the potential in all the job seekers that come to us every day.
That's amazing.
Wow, both of you are so knowledgeable about all the different lifestyles people have when they're looking to get a job and the circumstances and struggles. Carmen and Fatima, can you tell us your number one tips for job seekers today?
My number one tip is you need to get comfortable about getting out of your comfort zone. But sometimes that can be hard, and that's where organisations like us are here to help you. Getting out of your comfort zone is what the New World Order needs post-COVID.
My number one tip would be attitude. We have the jobs, we want to put you into these jobs, and we want to see you successful, but you need to have the right attitude and the willingness to work. And as Carmen said, getting out of your comfort zone.
So if anyone's listening right now that's looking for work, what kind of jobs do you have available right now?
We have so many jobs, all the way from housekeeping and food and beverage to IT and software engineers and everything in between. We have so many employers that are really trying to fight for talent. So if you've got the will, attitude and prepared to get out of your comfort zone, please contact us because we've got lots of jobs for you here in Adelaide.
And where can our listeners find out more information?
You can jump on our website at communitycorporate.com.au.
Fresh 92.7 presents Resume-Maybe, kickstarting your career with fresh jobs.
Yes, we are playing Resume-Maybe. Basically, the way this game works, Carmen and Fatima, is you're about to read out a skill, but only one of us possess this skill. The other two are lying rats, and you're allowed to press us with questions. You can ask us one question each, and at the end, you just have to decide simply who's telling the truth, who's got this skill. So, can you read out the skill, please?
Sure thing. So the skill is, I am an expert on the Sunshine Coast daily.
Okay, well, I can go first. It's pretty easy because
Sure.
it's my skill. For a little while there, I worked at News Corp, and so what I did is I worked as an outbound call centre person who had to call up regional places in Queensland and sell them the Sunshine Coast Daily as far as a subscription goes.
So, Davo, what's the most famous beach in the Sunshine Coast?
Ooh. Well, Townsville.
Townsville's another city. Look at this.
I think we
kidding me?
got her on that. Next, thanks.
All right, so pretty much I love surfing, and I can't say I know the beach names that well, to be honest. I was only there for 2 months. I just went for a little gap year, kind of holiday, until I ran out of money. But I went to the Sunshine Coast and just worked in a news agency. And so when I say I'm an expert on it, I'm kind of like hit and miss, but I sort of know the go a little bit on the Sunshine Daily. I used to sell them a little bit, along with stamps and pens and whatnot, just the news agency kind of stuff.
Sounds like he's grasping.
What's the logo of the Sunshine Coast Daily?
What's the logo? It's a sun.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you really sure?
I'm very sure it's a sun.
Okay.
Unless they've updated it in the meantime. You might know something I don't. I haven't been there in a little bit, so...
You might have to Google that, Papa.
Well, the reason I'm an expert on the Sunshine Coast Daily is just because I really, growing up, I had this passion for always reading the newspaper, and I started getting this hobby of collecting newspapers from different states. Sunshine Coast Daily was probably my favorite one growing up.
What kid has a newspaper collection, may I ask?
For regional newspapers.
I wasn't very popular at school, believe it or
Along
not.
with his stamps and coins.
mean, we
I don't
believe
know, it sounds a
that.
bit fishy.
What was your most famous article that you wrote for them?
Oh, it was from this guy called Jason Wayne, and it was just all about the beaches down in the Sunshine Coast, and I just really loved it because I didn't travel much as a kid. My parents worked a lot, so we didn't travel interstate, so just to read about the beaches and to think, wow, that's in my country, I thought was really cool.
Bit of a sob story there.
Yeah, wow.
Going for the heartstrings. All right, now it is your time to pick who you think was telling the truth and who is the expert on the Sunshine Coast Daily.
I'm thinking Tom.
Okay.
You think Tom's telling the truth?
It was the heartstrings, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Don't let him fool you with the heartstrings. It is not Tom.
It's quite obvious that Callum's a surfer. Look at that bod.
No, it was not me. I am a lying rat, and you've been caught out by my lying tendencies. It was, in fact, Davo.
So good.
I was telling the truth.
Oh my God. Because Cal's body language and eye contact was really, really good. So I actually thought he was telling the truth. You looked down heaps. So I knew you were just like making stuff up. But I wasn't paying enough attention,
There you
Davo.
go.
There you go.
Sneaky.
There you go. So do you actually know the logo of the
No
Gold Coast Sun or whatever?
idea.
Okay, neither do I.
But you responded fast, right?
It was a sun, guys. Well done.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Carmen and Fatima. To find out more and explore your options, head to communitycorporate.com.au to register your interest for jobs. You guys have been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.